So, intangible digital intellectual property. What is intangible digital intellectual property? Intellectual property refers to the ownership of intangible goods. This includes ideas, designs, symbols, writings, and creations. It also refers to digital media such as audio and video clips that can be downloaded online. Since intellectual property is intangible, if it is stolen, it may be difficult to recover. Intangible property is property that does not derive its value from physical attributes. Patents, softwares, trademarks, and licenses are examples of intangible property. On the other hand, business furniture and equipment are examples of tangible personal property. Intellectual property versus intangible assets. Intellectual property is a broad categorical description for the set of intangible assets owned and legally protected by a company or individual from outside use or implementation within consent. An intangible asset is a non-physical asset that is a company or a person owns. Intangible asset includes intellectual property or IP, like copyright, patents, and trademarks, and other non-IP assets like the trade secrets and goodwill. World Intellectual Property Organization refers to IP as creations. IP is protected by law to prevent copying and allowing inventors to receive financial rewards. So the main types of intangible assets, the assets that cannot be touched are known as intangible assets, and the list includes brand values, goodwill, intellectual property like trademarks, patents, copyrights. Intangible assets is further divided into a few types like the market-related, customers-related, contract-related, and the technology-related intangible assets, which include assets like the logos, self-developed software, customers' data, franchise agreements, newspaper methods, license, royalty, marketing rights, important codes, servicing rights, and etc. The primary types of intellectual property, like the copyrights, it is a legal term which is used to describe a person's ownership, rights to an original expression of creativity. The trademark is a word, a group of words, sign, symbol, logo, or combination thereof that identifies and differentiates the source of the goods or service in one entity from those of others. When it comes to patent, it is an exclusive right granted for an invention which is produced a process that provides, in general, a new way of doing something or offers a new technological solution to a problem. The trade secret is an intellectual property rights on confidential information. The digital IP protection developing exercise is protecting intellectual property in digital form. So, digital intellectual property is intellectual property in digital format. Industries that produce digital intellectual property new account from a sizable and growing portion of the economy and international trade. However, all business and individuals store, create, or otherwise handle some sort of digitalization information. The reality of digital information possesses problems surrounding the use reuse of information and the right of responsibilities of rights holders and consumers under existing law. Protecting digital intellectual property encourages increased level of innovation and creativity, resulting in the acceleration of progress. So digital IP or the DIP represents a sizable and rapidly growing portion of global economy, while the DIP encourages innovation, creativity, and economic growth. Protecting it possesses a challenging task and it is difficult for a number of reasons. Digital products are not tangible and can be reproduced in a very low cost with a potential for immediate delivery via internet across virtual and limited geographic markets. So there are many stakeholders that can be represented a broad range of legitimate concerns. It is important to understand what these different concerns and how they affect these stakeholders. So the content creators produce DIP in order to maximize return of their investment. The authors have different concepts of what constitutes a return of their investments and different strategies for handling intellectual property or the IP. Both use the familiar model where content, or typically music, videos, and literature, relies on IP laws to provide exclusive rights. Others may be given intellectual property away with an expectation of gaining other benefits. Example, distributing free time limited trial software in the expectation of building a market for commercial versions and sharing the IP to enhance the developers community. So, while laws enforcement policies and other cultural attitudes towards IP vary considerably by country, IT networks have global reach, hence it may be difficult to establish whose laws apply to the infringer. Reactively, the information may be moved to a country where laws and enforcements are more reliant. So, there are some case studies on IP strategy for success. So, working an engineer in the research and development, the R&D laboratory of Gran Tierra Energy Inc. in 1979, Antonio Salvador quickly realized that the enormous potential of internal R&D in the emerging computer science and electronic technology industries, recognizing the small and medium enterprises generally lack the resources of internal R&D in these fields. He found Adon Ricardo's recommendation SPE, or Adon, a private independent engineering and contract research company in northeastern Italy, a province cutting-edge technology support to produce and process innovation. Acknowledged by the Italian Ministry of University of Research as a highly qualified laboratory in the field of information and electronic technologies, Adon was one of the first centers in Italy to provide other companies with innovations through R&D outsourcing. Adon's philosophy is to link basic and applied research with industrial implementation to offer the widest possible set of reliable and flexible solutions and applications. Adon achieved this through the design, development, installation, and services of software and systems for industrial processes, and as well as automatic and information technology integration in organizational process, or ISO certified. So Adon's primary specialization is in the design, implementation, and integration of vision system for industrial automation and laboratory instrumentation. However, it also has significant consolidated skills and know-how in other technological areas such as control of monitoring industries, processes, internet software, and technology and software engineering. So the research and development, the core of Adon's business is its R&D activities, which are always project-specific through feasibility testing, technical and cost-effective analysis, high performance and speedy implementation, and adaptation of existing solutions. To solve problems, Adon has become a one-stop shop for their customer software and system R&D needs. Rapid technological evolution and dynamic competitive environment of applied research in the information of communication technology sector means that the number of problems customers bring the Adon is always higher than the number of technological solutions available. Considering crucial in its success, Adon's constantly monitoring technological changes and advancement that could be critical for its competitiveness through the informal group of professionals. So the monitoring includes studies and informal survey to identify competitors, and it's carried out using the internet with human filtering, consultation of specialized press, participation in conferences and workshops at the national and international level, cooperation with universities and other research centers, visit and the market analysis, and to lesser extent the use of patent databases and other acquisition to report from information providers. So confidential information. So maintaining business and research information confidential between Adon and its clients ensured that the third parties were not access to any trade secrets or new intellectual property that may result from the research contract. This diminishes the risk of infringement the early disclosure of a new technology. When it comes to IP management, being a research outsourcing firm, Aidon is often faced with the dilemmas of how to manage new IP obtained through its contract while at the same time taking into account the requirements of its customers. Often the interests of the customers and R&D centers do not coverage when it comes to patentable knowledge created within the project. The customer wants the exclusive right to exploitation, while the R&D organization wants to use the acquired knowledge for further development. So in trademarks, since its funding, Eden has used trademarks protection to create a solid corporate identity and a strong external image. A trademarks application has been registered for Eden's name and logo in Italy with the UIBM. To date, the company has not used trademarks to protect personalized products or platforms when providing complex systems and original solutions developed ad hoc for its customers. However, the firm does not exclude the use of this IP tool for future activities, in particular in relation to software programs. So when it comes to patents, Eden has filed patents application in many countries with the European Patents Office. In many countries, we do protect original system resulting from different R&D contracts carried out in cooperation with industry partners in the following industrial sectors: the brick industry, ceramics, chemical, petrochemical, food, pharmaceutics, marble, processing screen printing sectors, training, textile, wine treatment, wood, metal industry, and mechanics. The application process is carried out with the advice of external legal experts who are responsible for the current implementation of the different IP protection tools chosen. So, Eden regards patenting as being very important for innovative, high technology solutions. However, in the case of incremental innovations, when time to market becomes more critical than technology issues, it considers the patenting is not advantageous. Aidon believes that this can result in early disclosure of strategic information, which is easily accessible to third parties who can opportunely improve the innovation, thus making the patent protection worthless. Therefore, when software-intensive solutions are involved, Aidon relies on copyright protection. Aidon's original software is protected by copyright access rights to software based normally on an exclusive license model do not usually include access to source code, which may be granted only exceptional cases and can be made subject to separate agreements. So the other software intensive solutions are also protected by copyright. So in business results, through its IP management strategy, Eden has been able to expand into a leading and respected engineering contract research company in Italy with global research. Starting out small, Eden now has developed more than 250 nationally funded research contracts in over a dozen European research and technology transfer in over 30 different manufacturing sectors. Eden has continually built on its prior successes using IP gained through R&D contracts to offer clients advanced solutions while creating a strong market position for itself. So in growth through a strong IP strategy, Eden is an excellent example of using a strong IP strategy to facilitate growth. Through its research, Eden can acquire IP rights to technologies that it may not have had access to without customers' contracts. New IP can then be used to access new markets, through which Aiden can have the opportunity to secure new contracts and subsequently develop new technologies and IP. Aiden's solution also brings with it many cross-licensing opportunities with its customers. All of these advantages provide solutions for customers while giving Aiden's new tool with which to carry out research and development, create better solution, attracts new contract, and maintain its position as a leading developer of system, software, and systems.